Now, last week, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley introduced legislation to declassify all intelligence related to the origins of COVID-19. Now, the bill, which unanimously passed the Senate and, a vote, is now scheduled for a House vote this Friday. The bad news is it's bad news for Dr. Flip-Flop Fauci. Apparently, Fauci once initiated a publication designed to disprove the Wuhan lab leak theory and then later cited that publication from the White House podium as an independent voice of evidence disproving the lab leak. And meanwhile, today, Hawley introduced additional legislation aimed at curbing China's influence by banning Chinese companies and CCP-linked entities from buying farmland, ranch land, land near military installations in the U.S. He joins us now with the latest. Senator, welcome back. Let me start with what happened. We had the voice vote that took place in the Senate last week. The vote in the House is Friday. That would declassify any potential links between the Wuhan virology lab and the origins of COVID. Don't we already know from internal emails, text messages, et cetera, in the NIH that NIH money went through the EcoHealth Alliance to fund the Wuhan virology lab, and that we knew they did research on coronaviruses and gain-of-function research?
Yeah, we sure do, Sean, and that is why the American people deserve to see what their government knows about the origins of COVID, because we had people like Dr. Fauci, nobody more than Dr. Fauci, who went out there and said, oh, no, this could never have come from a lab. In fact, if you think that, you are a crazy conspiracy theorist. You should be taken off of social media. You shouldn't be allowed to say that stuff in public. And as it turns out, our own government has known for some time that it likely came from a lab. So let's declassify it. Let's let the American people see everything that the government has got on the origins of COVID, and let's hold people like Dr. Fauci accountable for their lies.
What about this memo that was created at the request of Dr. Fauci, and now new evidence suggesting that not only did Dr. Fauci prompt the drafting of this publication that would disprove the lab leak theory, is it true he might have edited and rewritten parts of it and then quoted it as an independent source when in fact he was actively involved in it? Is that true?
I've seen the news reports, Sean. I don't know if it's true that he was actively involved, although the news reports certainly suggest he was. He did cite it from the podium. What we do know is that Fauci actively worked to discredit the idea, the I believe fact, that this came from a lab, that COVID was a lab leak, originated in a lab leak. He actively worked to discourage that, to discredit that, when our own government was collecting intelligence that suggested it did in fact come from a lab. And this is why we need to let the American people see it. No more take our word from it. No more trust the bureaucrats. No more trust Fauci. Let the American people see for themselves.
And this was used as an independent source when he himself called for the original letter. I think that's an important point. Senator, I want to ask you about this. If I wanted to buy farmland and ranch land in China, if I wanted to buy land in China near their military installations, do you think I or any other American would be allowed to do so by the government of China?
Yeah, I highly doubt it, Sean. Here's what I do know is that Chinese corporations now own almost 340,000 acres of American farmland. I mean, listen, I come from a farm state. Food security is national security. Chinese corporations and people who are associated with the Chinese Communist Party should not own any land, a single acre of American farmland. We need to protect our food security. We need to protect our national security. So let's ban it. My legislation would ban it across the board. That's what we need to do to protect this country.
I hope you get this through. I think that is critical to our national security. And, Senator, I would say in light of the devastation of COVID, which came from China, I think we'd be within our rights to use eminent domain and take that land back and not allow foreign entities or foreign nationals to be buying up farmland, ranch land, and land near military installations, especially after the balloon incident. So thank you for that legislation. We appreciate it. We'll watch it closely. Senator Hawley, thank you.